I am so tired of telling you this. Good morning, Center of Hope. I bet nobody who's watching this video has said that over the last year, have they? Yeah. You ever wonder why we get so irritated by stuff like that? Things that just keep popping up and over again, no matter how many times you tell people, they just don't seem to get it. You're not supposed to do that. This is the right way you're supposed to do it. Why do you still do it the wrong way? You know, it can be a number of different things that might irritate you or bother you, and you think, this is so simple, why can't you get that right? For me, it's when people incorrectly go through intersections. If they turn left in an intersection that has 2 lanes, they always take the far lane. You're not supposed to do that. That's illegal. And yet, it happens all the time. Now, me sitting in my car getting irritated at them, does that change the situation? Nope. It doesn't make a difference at all. It's just me getting a little bit angry behind a wheel and them just going on their daily lives. It's like one of my pastors said one time. You being mad at somebody and them not knowing it is like you drinking poison and hoping it affects them. It doesn't do a dang thing except hurt you. So is it worth it? Not really. But we do that all the time, don't we? We get so irritated at the fact that people just don't listen and don't understand that sometimes rules are in place to keep you safe. Now you just need to listen. Let me tell you a story. So in my first year of marriage, my wife and I are living in Guelph, and the place that we were living in Guelph was right across from this mall called Stone Road Mall, and it's a pretty big mall. I mean, it's a good-sized mall, and the kids loved going over to the mall all the time. You know, go do some shopping at the dollar store, which happened to be right near where we were. So the one day, we're getting ready to go across there, and it's my wife, myself, our son, and daughter. And I'm sure none of you have ever said to your kids, look both ways before you cross the street. And gotten responses like, I know, why do you keep telling me? Well, this particular day, we're getting ready to go across the street, and our son was in a bit of a mood and didn't really want to, listen, or we'll just leave it as being in a bit of a mood. Well, he decides he's going to go across the street, go to the mall, and he steps out to go onto the road, and the next thing he knows, my hand is on his neck, and he gets yanked backwards. He turns around, and he is so furious at me. You can see the anger rising in his face. His face is red. His fists are clenched. He's looking at me like he wants to just punch me right in the nose. And then the bus goes by right behind him, misses him by about 1.5 feet. His face went as white as my hat. See, in his hurry to go across the street, he didn't listen to that one rule that we keep trying to tell them. Look both ways before you cross the street. But no, he knows better. He's just gonna go. Well, we almost lost him that day because he didn't want to listen or obey a rule that was designed and dedicated to keep him safe. We talk about that now, every now and again, how he always forgets about the part about the bus coming by. But yeah. See, rules have been put in place for a long time to keep us safe. And we don't always like to listen to them. We don't always like to hear them and obey them. We think we know better. Let's go back to the Bible. There were, in a quick search, 38 different verses about God's people rebelling against God and not listening to what he has to say to them in trying to keep them safe. And in doing so, bad things happened in 38 verses. That's just at the very beginning of the Bible, not counting every other thing all the way through it. 38 times this happened. God's people, God talks to these people. They know God on an intimate basis. They have a communication with him. They've seen miracles that he's done. He saved them from being enslaved. He saved them from dangers. They still walk away from him. They still don't listen to him. See, that just seems to be the way that we are. That just seems to be the way that people are. We like to go against rules, no matter what is best for us. And you know what? How many times do I have to tell you to do something before I get mad and say, you know what, forget it, I'm done with you, do your own thing, see you later? Well, I think if all of us were honest, we could probably say it doesn't take very long for us to keep saying the same thing before we get annoyed enough that we just want to let you go. Remember how I said 38 times? There were so many more times than that, and yet God did not leave us. He did not walk away from us. I want to read you a verse that you might all be familiar with. This is Romans 5, verse 8. But God shows his love for us that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. We might have heard that verse before, but I want to give you a couple verses leading up to that. That is an amazing verse. It's a powerful verse. I want to give you the ones leading up to that. Romans 5, verse 6. While we were still weak, out of the right time, Christ died for the ungodly. For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps maybe a good person, and one would even dare to die. What does that say? You know what? We might give our lives for a righteous person, for somebody who is somebody that we care about, somebody that we love deeply, say your son, daughter, husband, wife, whatever. I think you'd be willing to give your life for those people. But for somebody who's okay, are you gonna do that? Probably not. You might say, hey, look out, but you might not jump in front of a truck for them. This is what that verse means and why it's so powerful. That when it says, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Because you know what? We're not all righteous people. We're not all good people. And yet God saw all of us, sent his son to die for us. Even though he probably said 1,000 times, times 10, why do I have to keep telling you this? Why can't you just follow the rules? Everything would be fine if you would just listen. But knowing who we are, he knew that we wouldn't do that. And so he knew that there was only one way that we are ever possibly going to be saved, and that was by him dying on the cross for us. That's what I wanted to bring to you guys today, because you know what? We might get frustrated. We might get upset about things that aren't being done, things that we think should be done, and yet aren't. I want to remind you that we're not perfect. We just simply aren't, and yet God died for us. That's all I wanted to tell you guys today. I hope that helped you. I hope you get something out of that. Leave a comment down below if you think that there's something that you want to hear us talk about. If there's something that you liked in the video, something you didn't like in the video, give us a thumbs up if you liked it. If you have any questions about anything that we say in these videos, feel free to pop by and say hi to Jared and I, and we'll be glad to talk to you. Have a good day.